What if the reason most people never become wealthy has nothing to do with talent, luck, or even hard work? What if the real difference between those who struggle for decades and those who build wealth quickly lies in one invisible factor: mindset? Every day, millions of people wake up with dreams of financial freedom. They want a better house, a stronger future, and the ability to live life on their own terms. But despite working harder, many stay trapped in the same cycle: earning, spending, worrying, and repeating. Why? Because success does not begin in the bank account. It begins in the mind. Napoleon Hill, one of the greatest thinkers on success, discovered that wealthy people think differently long before they become rich. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. They believe in possibilities before evidence appears. They train their minds to expect abundance instead of lack. This video will reveal the exact mindset shift that separates the average from the exceptional. If you apply these principles, you can begin changing not only how you think about money, but how money responds to you. Stay until the very end, because lesson number 5 might completely transform the way you approach success forever. Lesson 1. Wealth begins with a burning desire. The genesis of all significant achievement, particularly in the realm of financial accumulation, is not found in the external world of markets or labor, but in the internal world of the human psyche. Napoleon Hill's primary observation in Think and Grow Rich is that wealth never manifests from a casual interest or a lukewarm wish. A wish is a flickering candle, easily extinguished by the first gust of adversity. A burning desire is an incinerator that consumes obstacles as fuel. To understand the depth of this principle, one must recognize that the human brain operates on a priority system. When a goal is merely a preference, the subconscious mind treats it as optional, often prioritizing immediate comfort over long-term gain. However, when a goal becomes a burning desire, it moves into the realm of necessity, triggering a psychological state where the individual becomes hypersensitive to opportunities that align with that specific end. This internal shift from wanting to must-having is what separates the dreamer from the doer. Most individuals drift through life with a vague longing for financial security, yet they lack the definite purpose that Hill describes as the starting point of all riches. This vagueness is the enemy of progress. Without a specific target, your mental resources are scattered across 1,000 different directions, resulting in a dilution of effort. Wealthy thinkers, by contrast, possess a level of certainty that borders on obsession. This certainty is not rooted in arrogance, but in a calculated decision. They have burned the bridges behind them, leaving no option but to succeed. This psychological point of no return is what creates the urgency required to sustain effort through the long, often tedious journey of building an empire from scratch. To translate this desire into reality, one must engage in the discipline of specificity. Hill famously outlined a 6-step process for transforming desire into its financial equivalent, which begins with fixing in the mind the exact amount of money desired. It is insufficient to say, "I want to be rich." The universe, or more practically, your own subconscious, cannot execute a command that lacks parameters. You must define the dollar amount to the cent, establish a definitive date for its acquisition, and crucially determine exactly what service or value you intend to give in return for this wealth. There is no such reality as something for nothing. By defining the why and the how, you provide your burning desire with the tracks it needs to run on, transforming an abstract emotion into a concrete architectural plan for your future. Furthermore, a burning desire acts as a filter for the constant noise of the modern world. In an age of infinite distraction, the person with a singular focus possesses a competitive advantage that is almost unfair. While others are scrolling through the highlights of other people's lives, the individual possessed by a burning desire is obsessively refining their craft, seeking out mentors, and analyzing their failures. This intensity sharpens the focus to a razor's edge, allowing one to see solutions where others see only walls. It is the engine that keeps the lights on at 3 a.m. and the grit that gets you out of bed at 5 a.m. Without this core heat, any strategy, no matter how brilliant, will eventually succumb to the friction of reality. With it, the impossible becomes merely a series of logistical problems waiting to be solved. Lesson 2. Replace scarcity thinking with abundance thinking. The landscape of your financial reality is largely a reflection of your underlying beliefs about the nature of resources. Scarcity thinking is a psychological virus that convinces the host that the world is a zero-sum game, the idea that for one person to win, another must lose. This mindset is rooted in the primitive survival of the fittest instinct, which served us well when we were competing for limited calories in a tribal setting, but is disastrous in a modern, creative economy. When you operate from scarcity, you view competitors with hostility, you hoard information, and you live in a perpetual state of not enough. This fear-based vibration constricts your creativity and prevents you from taking the very risks necessary to generate wealth. You cannot build a skyscraper if you are terrified of running out of bricks. Abundance thinking, conversely, is the realization that wealth is created, not just redistributed. It is the understanding that the human mind is the ultimate resource capable of generating infinite value through innovation and problem solving. In an abundance mindset, the success of others is not a threat, but a proof of concept. It serves as evidence that the path is possible. This perspective allows you to move from a defensive posture to an offensive one. Instead of worrying about a shrinking pie, you focus on baking more pies or creating entirely new categories of dessert. Wealthy individuals realize that new markets are birthed every day from the problems of the old ones. They see the economy not as a static pool but as a flowing river, where the only limit to how much water you can take is the size of the bucket you bring to the bank. Shifting from scarcity to abundance requires a fundamental change in the questions you ask yourself. Scarcity asks, why is this happening to me? Or why can't I get ahead? These questions lead the brain down a dark alley of excuses, blaming the economy, the government, or the timing of one's birth. Abundance asks, how can I solve this? Or what value can I provide that is currently missing? That shift from why to how is the activation switch for the reticular activating system (RAS) in your brain. Once you focus on how, your mind begins to scan the environment for tools, partners, and strategies that were previously invisible to you. Money, at its core, is a medium of exchange for value. Therefore, if you become a person of high value who solves high-level problems, wealth becomes an inevitable byproduct rather than a distant dream. The world rewards those who contribute to the expansion of life, whether through a product that saves time, a service that reduces pain, or an idea that inspires. Wealth flows toward those who act as conduits for progress. When you embrace abundance, you stop being a consumer of circumstances and start being a creator of opportunities. You realize that there is no missed chance, only the next chance. This mindset fosters resilience because it views failure not as an end but as a feedback loop, a necessary data point in the process of creation. In the kingdom of abundance, the only true poverty is the poverty of imagination. By expanding your vision of what is possible, you expand the boundaries of your financial potential, attracting the people and resources necessary to manifest that vision into the physical world. Lesson 3. Your environment shapes your financial identity. It is a fundamental law of social psychology that humans are mimetic creatures. We unconsciously adopt the habits, speech patterns, and most importantly, the belief systems of those we spend the most time with. Napoleon Hill referred to this as the mastermind principle, but it also functions in reverse as a mediocre mind trap. Your financial identity is not formed in a vacuum. It is a composite of the average expectations of your inner circle. If your environment consists of people who view wealth with suspicion, who complain about their jobs, and who spend their weekends seeking escape rather than growth, you will find it nearly impossible to break free of that gravity. The crab mentality is a real phenomenon, where members of a group will pull down any individual who attempts to climb out of the bucket, often under the guise of keeping them grounded. To elevate your financial status, you must perform a ruthless audit of your surroundings. This is not about being elitist, it is about being protective of your mental software. Your mind is like fertile soil, and your environment is the seed. If you plant weeds of negativity, fear, and excuse-making, you cannot expect to harvest a crop of prosperity. Changing your environment often requires making difficult decisions about who has access to your time. You must seek out growth-focused environments where ambition is the norm and success is celebrated rather than envied. This might mean joining professional organizations, attending seminars, or simply choosing to spend your lunch hour reading a biography of a great leader rather than engaging in office gossip. You need to be in rooms where you are the least successful person, as this forces your standards to rise to meet the level of the group. Beyond the people you interact with, your environment also includes the digital and intellectual content you consume. In the 21st century, your environment is as much about your social media feed as it is about your physical neighborhood. If your associates are voices of doom on the news or influencers flaunting unearned luxury, your perception of reality becomes distorted. You must curate your mental inputs with the same care that a professional athlete curates their diet. Daily immersion in empowering material, books, podcasts, and educational courses acts as a form of mental conditioning. It slowly rewires the brain to accept higher levels of responsibility and larger scales of thinking. By deliberately choosing to listen to successful voices, you begin to adopt their vocabulary and their logic, which eventually manifests in your own decision-making process. Ultimately, your environment acts as a thermostat for your life. If the thermostat is set to average, any surge of success will eventually be cooled down by the social pressures of your circle. If you want to change the temperature of your bank account, you must change the setting of your environment. This shift often precedes the actual acquisition of wealth. You begin to act like a wealthy person in terms of discipline, curiosity, and integrity long before the money arrives. By surrounding yourself with individuals who hold you to a higher standard than you hold yourself, you create a psychological pull toward excellence. You stop making excuses because your environment no longer accepts them. In this high-pressure, high-support atmosphere, your financial identity is forged into that of a producer, making your eventual success a mathematical certainty of your associations. Lesson 4. Develop faith through repetition. Most people misunderstand the nature of faith, viewing it as a mystical or religious emotion that arrives by chance. In the context of wealth creation, however, faith is a pragmatic psychological tool. It is the state of mind induced by the affirmation of repeated instructions to the subconscious. Hill argues that our subconscious mind is like a servant that does not distinguish between constructive or destructive thoughts. It simply acts upon the dominant frequency of our thinking. If you rely solely on your current emotions to fuel your journey, you will quit the moment things get difficult. Emotions are fickle and reactive to the environment. Faith, however, is a proactive conditioning of the mind that allows you to remain steady when the external world suggests you should panic. The mechanism for developing this faith is repetition. Just as physical muscles are built through the repeated lifting of weights, the belief muscle is built through the repeated assertion of a desired reality. This is why affirmations are so powerful yet so frequently mocked by those who don't understand them. An affirmation is not a magic spell, it is a command to the subconscious. When you repeatedly tell yourself, "I am becoming financially intelligent," or "I see opportunity in every challenge," you are essentially programming a new operating system. Over time, these repeated statements become auto-suggestions that run in the background of your mind. When a problem arises, your conditioned mind will automatically offer a solution-oriented thought rather than a defeatist one, simply because that is the path you have worn deep into your neural circuitry. However, words alone are dead faith if they are not married to action. The subconscious is not easily fooled, it requires evidence. This is where repetition of action becomes the partner to repetition of word. If you affirm that you are disciplined but consistently sleep in and miss your targets, the resulting cognitive dissonance will destroy your faith. To build true, unshakable belief, you must align your affirmations with small, repeatable wins. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you are casting a vote for your new identity. This cycle of affirmation, action, result creates a feedback loop that hardens your belief into a fact. Eventually, you don't just believe you can be wealthy, you know it, because your identity has been completely restructured through this internal and external repetition. The danger of this principle is its neutrality. Most people are already using the power of repetition, but they are using it to reinforce their own limitations. Every time you say, "I can't afford that," or "I'm just not a numbers person," you are performing a negative affirmation. You are literally training your brain to be blind to wealth and deaf to opportunity. To break this cycle, you must become a conscious gatekeeper of your inner dialogue. You must catch the negative thought in mid-air and replace it with a constructive one. This is exhausting work at first, requiring constant vigilance. But after months of deliberate practice, the abundance thoughts become the default. You develop a money consciousness where you start to see the world through the lens of potential rather than the lens of lack. This hardened faith becomes your greatest asset, allowing you to endure the valleys of shadow that every entrepreneur must cross. Lesson 5. Decide faster and act before you feel ready. One of the most profound differences between the wealthy and the struggling is the speed of their decision-making. In his study of over 500 millionaires, Napoleon Hill discovered a striking commonality. Successful people reach decisions promptly and change them slowly, if at all. Conversely, those who fail to accumulate money reach decisions very slowly and change them frequently and quickly. This is because indecision is a form of mental friction that drains energy and kills momentum. The world is moving at an exponential pace and opportunities have a very short shelf life. If you wait until you have 100% of the information, 100% of the confidence, and a 100% guarantee of success, the opportunity will have already been seized by someone who was willing to move at 70%. The fallacy that keeps people paralyzed is the belief that readiness is a feeling that precedes action. In reality, readiness is a byproduct of action. You don't feel confident and then start the business. You start the business, and through the process of navigating challenges you earn your confidence. Waiting for the perfect moment is a sophisticated form of procrastination used by the ego to protect itself from the possibility of failure. But in the economic realm, the cost of not doing is often far higher than the cost of doing it wrong. A wrong decision can be corrected through feedback and pivot. A non-decision leaves you exactly where you started, but with less time remaining. Wealthy individuals understand that clarity is a result of movement. You cannot steer a parked car. You have to get it rolling before the steering wheel becomes effective. This principle of speed to action does not imply being reckless or impulsive. It means developing a bias for action and a high tolerance for discomfort. It means recognizing that good enough today is better than perfect next year. When you act before you feel ready, you are making a profound statement to your subconscious. You are telling it that you trust your ability to figure things out on the fly. This builds a robust, anti-fragile personality. Every time you launch a project, make an investment, or reach out to a high-level mentor despite your fear, you are expanding your comfort zone by force. Over time, things that used to terrify you become routine. You develop a decisive character that commands respect from others and attracts resources that naturally gravitate toward leadership. Finally, momentum is the secret source of the wealthy. Once you start moving, it takes less energy to keep moving. Small actions lead to small wins, which lead to increased confidence, which leads to larger actions. This is the flywheel effect. The most difficult part of the journey is always the first few inches of movement, breaking the inertia of a lifetime of hesitation. Once you commit and take that first step, the universe seems to conspire in your favor, bringing you the right people and the right information at exactly the right time. But this conspiracy only happens for those in motion. If you are standing still, nothing can find you. Decide now, act immediately, and refine as you go. The path to wealth is not a straight line planned in a laboratory. It is a rugged trail blazed by those who had the courage to start walking before the sun came up. Building wealth fast is not about shortcuts, luck, or overnight success. It is about becoming the kind of person capable of recognizing, creating, and multiplying opportunity. That transformation begins with a single shift, understanding that your outer world reflects your inner world. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, hesitation, and limitation, your results will often mirror that pattern. But when you develop clarity, desire, faith, discipline, and decisive action, your financial reality begins to change. Napoleon Hill's teachings remain powerful because they address the root cause of success, the human mind. Money is not just earned with hands, it is first built in thought. So starting today, ask yourself, what beliefs must I leave behind? What identity must I adopt? What actions have I been postponing? You do not need permission to think bigger. You do not need perfect conditions to begin. The wealth you desire may be waiting on the other side of a mental upgrade. Change your mindset and you change your direction. Change your direction and eventually you change your life. Your future wealth is not built tomorrow. It begins with the decision you make today.